this is what we did today, and then you're going to use this as your note making problems. And well, that's it. So find three consecutive integers whose sum is 108. Now, how do we represent three consecutive integers? Well, if you think about it, let's just use 2, 4, 6 consecutive even integers. If I call this, and well, the problem here is that I don't know what the numbers are, right? I need to find three of them that add up to 108. So I'm going to call the first one x. If I call the first one x, the second one, how do I get from 2 to 4? I have to x. So if x is representing 2, how do I get from 2 to 4? I have to add 2, right? How do I get from 2 to 6? I'll put this like that. I would add 4. And how would I get from 2 to the fourth consecutive even integer? I would add 6, right? So whatever my first even integer is, the second one right after that x will be whatever that x is plus 2. The third consecutive integer, even integer, will be whatever x is plus 4, and that'll take me, and so forth. So this actually works for even and odd integers. So again, let me show you odd numbers. So if we pretend that the first odd number is 1 and we represent it with x, the second one will be x plus 2. And if I do 1 plus 2, right, it'll get me to 3. If I do 1 plus 4, right, it'll get me to 5. So for even and odd integers, that's how you would represent the first three consecutive even or odd integers. And obviously you get x plus 6, x plus 8, x plus 10, depending however many you need. So it says here, find three consecutive integers. So there's first, second, and third, right? So if I call my first even integer x, the second one's going to be called x plus 2. The third one we call x plus 4. So, and it says if I add them up, the sum is going to be 108. So x plus the second one, which is x plus 2, plus the third one, which is x plus 4. So these three even integers, if I add them all up together, it gives me 108. That's what your equation is going to look like. Now, if I combine like terms, I get 3x, 2 and 4, I get 6, and that gives me 108. Subtract 6 from each side, and we get 3x equals 102. Divide both sides by 3, and x is going to be 34. So my first even integer is 34, and then 34 plus 2 is going to be 36, and 34 plus 4 is going to be 38. Just to double check, if you add them up, you should get 108, and if you get 108, right, that makes even more sense because you confirm that the sum of all three is 108. So 4 and 6 is 10, plus 8 is 18, carry 1, 3, 6, 9, 10. There you go. 108. Second one, find three consecutive even integers. Okay, so again, let's identify them. First, my second, my third. So again, my first one is called x. The following positive consecutive integer after x will be x plus 2. And the following will be x plus 4. We're going to use these three to set up our equation. So it says 4 times, so 4 times the first, which is x. Decrease by is minus. The second, which was the second, x plus 2. And remember, because x plus 2 has 2 terms, you have to put it in parentheses. Okay. So there we go. 4 times the first minus, or decreased by the second, is, or in other words, equals 12. Here we are. More than, which is plus. Twice. Twice means 2 times the third number. Who's the third number? X plus 4. So let's solve this. For x, there's an invisible 1 here, so we get minus x, and then distributive property gives me minus 2 equals 12 plus, and again distributive property here, 2x plus 2 times 4 is 8. Combine like terms, this is going to give me 3x minus 2 equals 20 plus 2x. From here, we're going to subtract 2x from both sides, minus 2x, right? Because I have a variable on both sides, so take one of them out. That goes away. 3x minus 2x is x. Minus 2 equals 20. All we got to do is add 2 on both sides, and our variable is isolated. I have x all by itself. And 20 plus 2 is 22. So that makes my first even integer 22. The second one would be 22 plus 2, which is 24. And the third one would be 22 plus 4, which would be 26. So there are my 3 consecutive even integers. The larger of two numbers is 5 more than the smaller. Well, if there's a large, so we are talking about two numbers, a large one and a small one. So let's identify them. Large number and the small number. It says that the larger of two numbers, 5 more than the smaller one. Well, let's call the smaller one x. So the large one is whatever the small one is, which in this case we're calling x, but plus 5. Right? So we identified both numbers. Let's take that information and set up the equation. So twice, 2 times, the larger, which is x plus 5, and again 2 terms, so put it in parentheses, is, or equals, 40 more than, again, addition, the smaller, which is x. And there's your equation. So from here on, it really should be really simple. 2x plus 10, 40 plus x, subtract x from both sides, x plus 10 equals 40, minus 10 on both sides, x equals 30. So the small number is 30, which means the larger is 5 more than that, and that's going to give us 35. So here are my two numbers. One number is 2 less than the other one. So again, there's a large number and the smaller one. One's the smaller by 2. So in this case, let's call the large one x, and the smaller one is going to be smaller by 2 because it says 2 less than the other one, right? So that has to be, the smaller number is going to be whatever the large is, and take away 2, right? 2 less. Identify the two numbers. Now let's take that information and set up the equation starting here. 4 times the larger, or 4 times x, is subtracted from 5. So is subtracted from is going to be a turnaround. So let's set up the equation first. So 4x, 4 times the larger, minus 5 times the smaller. 5 times the smaller, which is x minus 2, right? It's going to equal 10. So again, 4 times the larger, 4 times x, subtracted minus 5 times the smaller one, which is represented by x minus 2, therefore the parentheses, equals 10. One little thing we have to do, subtract it from is a turnaround, so 5x minus 2 comes to the front, and then the 4x is going to be second. Now we're ready to solve the equation. So 5x minus 10, distributive property, minus 4x equals 10. 5x minus 4x is x, minus 10 equals 10. Add 10 to both sides, and we got x equals 20. So our larger number is 20. The small one is smaller by 2, so 20 minus 2, which is going to give us 18. So those are the two numbers. So again, once you identify the numbers, right, in the beginning of the problem, then setting up the equation is really not a big deal. So another problem, the larger of two numbers is 4 times the smaller. So again, we have two numbers. Let's call them large and small. It says the larger one is 4 times the smaller one. So the larger one is 4 times the smaller one. Well, what are we calling the small one? Let's call it y. We can call it x, but let's just for example's sake. So 4 times y. So whatever the small one is, which in this case is y, multiply by 4 and you get the larger. Now, the larger exceeds the smaller. Think about what exceeds means here. It's greater than, right? The larger is greater than the smaller by 15. So, so the larger one, the large number, 4y, exceeds minus the smaller one, a small number, y. The result is 15. Subtract 4y minus y is 3y equals 15. Divide both sides by 3. Y equals 5. Oh, that was that simple. The greater of two numbers is twice the smaller. So again, we're talking about two numbers, and one of them is small and the other one is large. And they say the greater one is twice the smaller. So whatever the smaller one is, the large one is going to be twice its value. So let's call the small one x, and the large one is going to be 2x. Identified. Let's use that to set up an equation. If the greater 2x is decreased by 10 minus 10, the result equals 5 more than its addition, the smaller, which is x. Very, very simple equation. We have variables on both sides, so let's take care of that. Minus x minus x. 2x minus x is x. Minus 10 comes down. 5 comes down, and this goes away. Plus 10 over here. Plus 10 over here. Minus 10 plus 10 is 0, so x equals 5 plus 10 is 15. So the small number is 15, and the large one is 2 times 15, which is going to give us 30. As you can tell, very, very well, relatively simple, right? Find 4 consecutive even numbers such that the sum of the first 3 is 24 more than twice the fourth number. All right. So first of all, let's identify what we're talking about. We have 4 consecutive even numbers. So the first even number, well, let's call it x. So the second even number after x will be x plus 2. The third even number will be x plus 4. And then the fourth number will be x plus 6, right? So, and it says that find 4 consecutive even numbers such as the sum of the first 3. So let's add the first 3, the first number, the second, the third. So we got x. I'm going to change colors here. Second number, x plus 2. Third number, x plus 4. Notice I'm not putting parentheses here. And the only reason I'm not doing that is because, they're all being added. If it was subtraction, I would, put parentheses. But with addition, we don't. Because when we remove the parentheses, right, by pretending there's an invisible one and doing the distributive property, it's going to come out the same. So, why do a second same step? Redundant. So x, first, let me change. First even number plus a second even number plus a third even number, x plus 4. So find such that the sum of the first 3 is equals 24 more than twice the fourth number. And the fourth number is x plus 6. That's your equation. There's a lot of things to do. Combine like terms, distributive properties. On the left side, let's combine. We got x, and x. We got 3x. 2 and 4 is 6. On the right side, we have to do distributive property. And we got 2x. And then 2 and 6 is 12. 3x plus 6. On the right side, we have combined these two. And we get 2x plus 36. Subtract 2x from both sides. 3x minus 2x is x. And then plus 6 equals, and 36 comes down. Minus 6 on this side, minus 6 on that side to isolate our variable. And x equals 30. So my first x equals 30. If x equals 30, the second even number is going to be 30 plus 2, which is 32. 30 plus 4, which is 34. And 30 plus 6, which is 36. And here are my 4 even numbers, consecutive even numbers. Okay, the second of 3 numbers is 3 more than the first. The third is twice the first. Blah blah blah. So let's identify those 3 numbers first before we set up the equation. So we have definitely 3 numbers. First, second, and third. The second of them, so this one, is 3 more than the first. And who's the first? Do we know who the first is, or what to call the first? This third number is twice the first. Again, the third number is, do we know anything about the first? So that's the one we're going to call x, because the one we know nothing about. So we call it x. So let's go back to the second one and see if we can translate that or identify x as an expression in terms of x. So the second number is 3. Second 3 numbers is 3 more than the first. So 3 more than whatever the first number is. And the third number is twice the third, so twice the first. So the third number is 2 times whatever the first number is, in which this case is x. There are my 3 numbers. Now I can set up my equation. So it says the difference. Difference means subtraction between the third, 2x, and the second. The second is 3 plus x. I'm going to put that in parentheses. Is equals 23 less than means subtraction 2 times the first, twice the first. But less than, careful, it's a turnaround. So I'm going to have to do a little correction here. It's going to be 2x minus 23, right? Because we have to. Okay, so there's a lot of things happening here. 2x minus 3 minus x equals 2x minus 23. 2x minus x is just x, and then minus 3 equals 2x minus 23. We're going to subtract x from this side and x from this side. That goes away. Negative 3 equals x minus 23. We got to do plus 23 over here and plus 23. By doing that, finally our x is all by itself. Minus 23 plus 23 goes away, and then negative 3 plus 23 is 20. So x is 20, which means our second number is 3 more than x, or 3 more than 20, so that would give us 23. And the third number is 2 times the first, so the first number is 20, so twice its value, it gives us 40. So there are our 3 numbers. Okay, hopefully you'll go over this, because you're going to need it.